Hello students, welcome to the lecture on Introduction to Health, and after this lecture we will be able to learn the following objectives. Discuss the aspects of health, explain the importance of health in our life, describe the health risk factors, explain how family meal helps the children. Let us start with what is health. The English word health comes from the Old English word hale, meaning wholeness, a being whole, sound or well. Hale comes from the Proto-Indo-European root kailo, meaning whole, uninjured, of good omen. Kailo comes from the Proto-Germanic root kalbus, meaning something divided. MEDI-LEXICON's medical dictionary has 3 definitions for health. The first being the state of the organism when it functions optimally without evidence of disease or abnormality.
Here we have 2 kids, a boy named Sanjay and a girl named April. Sanjay and April are kids just like you, although they are cartoons. I guess they're not exactly just like you, now are they? Maybe I'll give them jetpacks. Why not? You know what, maybe jetpacks are a bad idea. My bad. Now, we really want Sanjay and April to be happy kids. For that to happen, we want them to have fun being active and to learn to make healthy choices. But to do this, there are skills they have to learn first. Yeah, skills! Watch this. Sanjay, let's have you run a race. We'll draw a track here and give you a really tough opponent to run against. How about a cheetah? They're pretty fast. And let's put April on a baseball diamond. She can be playing against someone tough too. How about a team of elephants who use their trunks to hit the ball? Now, in order for Sanjay and April to get better at their activities, they have to learn some basic skills first. Think about it. If Sanjay hasn't learned how to run properly, he won't be able to run a race very well. And April won't really be ready to play baseball until she learns to catch. To be active and to have fun playing lots of games and sports, there are a lot of basic skills you should learn. Things like how to dodge, skip, jump, kick, overhand throw, catch, and run. If you learn skills like these, you'll end up using them in sports and physical activities, and you'll be confident playing them. This is called being physically literate. If you become physically literate and learn these basic skills, then you'll be able to try more activities, and activities are fun. If you can run, you can take part in soccer, basketball, or hiking. If you can throw, you can play baseball, cricket, or wheelchair bocce. If you can balance, you can do yoga, gymnastics, or even shark riding. Okay, you got me, I made shark riding up. But imagine? Now, not only do we want Sanjay and April to be active, we also want them to learn to make healthy choices. There are skills you have to learn for that too. But instead of running and catching, these are thinking and doing skills. Things like saying kind words, listening to each other, and knowing what you're feeling. Learning these help you make healthy decisions, like eating well, wearing your bike helmet, and making smart life choices. This is called health literacy. If you learn the skills of health literacy, you might choose to do fun activities like read a book, go outside and be active, or draw instead of only playing video games. And you may choose to eat more fruits and vegetables instead of mostly candy. I know, Mr. Cheetah, but being healthy is just as important for cheetahs as it is for kids. So if Sanjay and April can learn health literacy and physical literacy, they'll really be on the right track. Then Sanjay and April will feel good about participating in those activities. And they'll want to try more activities because they know they have the skills to be good at it. They'll also have the skills to make choices for their health and well-being. And in the end, they'll be active, happier, and healthier.
World Health Organization's WHO's definition of health. The most famous modern definition of health was created during a preamble to the Constitution of the WHO as adopted by the International Health Conference, New York, 1922 June. 1946, signed on 22nd July 1946 by the representatives of 61 states and entered into force on 7th April 1948. Health is the level of functional or metabolic efficiency of a living being. In humans, it is the general condition of a person's mind and body, usually meaning to be free from illness, injury or pain, as in good health or healthy. The WHO defined health in its broader sense in 1946 as a state of complete physical, mental and social well-being and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. Although this definition has been subject to controversy, in particular as lacking operational value and because of the problem created by use of the word complete, it remains the most enduring. Classification systems such as the WHO family of international classifications, including the International Classification of Functioning, Disability and Health (ICF) and the International Classification of Diseases (ICD), are commonly used to define and measure the components of health. Health is a state of complete physical, mental and social well-being and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. The state of being hale, sound or whole in body, mind or soul, especially the state of being free from physical disease or pain. There are two aspects to health: physical health, mental health. Physical health. For humans, physical health means a good body health which is healthy because of regular physical activity, exercise, good nutrition and adequate rest. As a country's or region's people experience improved nutrition, health care, standards of living and quality of life, their height and weight generally increase. In fact, most people when asked for a definition of health talk about physical health. Physical health relates to anything concerning our bodies as physical entities. Physical health has been the basis for active living campaigns and the many nutrition drives that have swept the industrialized world. People are exposed to so much physical health data these days that it is hard to decide what is relevant and what is not. Mental health. Mental health refers to people's cognitive and emotional well-being. A person who enjoys good mental health does not have a mental disorder. According to WHO, mental health is a state of well-being in which the individual realizes his or her own abilities, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to his or her community. No matter how many definitions people try to come up with regarding mental health, its assessment is still a subjective one. People have always found it easier to explain what mental illness is rather than mental health. Most people agree that mental health refers to the absence of mental illness. For some, this definition is not enough. They argue that if we pick 100 people who do not suffer from any mental disorder or illness that could be diagnosed by a psychiatrist, some people within those 100 will be mentally healthier than others. The health of individual people and their communities are affected by a wide range of contributory factors. People's good or bad health is determined by their environment and situations, what is happening and what has happened to them, says WHO. The WHO says that the following factors probably have a bigger impact on our health than access and use of healthcare services. Where we live, the state of our environment, genetics, our income, our education level, our relationship with friends and family. The higher a person's socio-economic status is, the more likely he or she is to enjoy good health. The link is a clear one. Socio-economic status affects all members of the family, including newborn babies. An Australian study found that women of lower socio-economic status are less likely to breastfeed their newborn babies, a factor which will have an impact on the health of the baby just as he or she enters the world. People with lower levels of education generally have a higher risk of experiencing poorer health. Their levels of stress will most likely be higher compared to people with higher academic qualifications. A person with a high level of education will probably have higher self-esteem. When we are talking of health, it is not just about a healthy body, but also about sound mental health. Good health can be described as the condition where both our body as well as our mind is functioning properly. The main causes behind poor health conditions are diseases, improper diet, injury, mental stress, lack of hygiene, unhealthy lifestyle, etc. Over the past few years, our lifestyle has changed and we often tend to ignore the importance of healthy living in one way or the other. There are several benefits of a healthy life. Our body becomes free from various forms of disorders and thus we get a longer life. We can live a life without suffering from any aches, pain or discomfort. In every sphere of our life, we will be able to perform to the best of our ability. Doing excellent work helps us to be a valuable member of a healthy society. Besides, when we are physically fit, it gets reflected on our face. So we look attractive and start feeling good about ourselves. If we have a fit body, then we can lead a physically active life even after growing old. This is because the body can heal the regular wear and tear associated with aging faster. In short, health and wellness brings about a drastic improvement in the overall quality of our life. We should take good care of our health, both in the workplace as well as at home. This will make us feel more energetic and we will be able to carry out both simple as well as strenuous tasks without pushing ourselves too hard. As mind and body are free from work pressure and mental stress, one can handle the daily chores at workplace with a positive attitude. We feel motivated to finish off the task at hand and will be interested to work on more number of things. Staying healthy for kids is vital for proper growth and development of their mind and body. They require enough energy to spend the entire day in school. They should be able to focus in the classroom and fully participate in the activities on the field. For this, they need proper nutrition, which includes carbohydrates, proteins, calcium, minerals, etc. Today, most parents have a basic knowledge of food and health-related issues. However, they often fail to understand that regular medical checkup is a must for every child. This helps them learn from the experts whether the child's development in terms of height and weight is proper. They should also take the child for dental checkup and eye checkup on a regular basis. Even child behavior has to be monitored closely. This way, any major health problem can be prevented in future. Nutrition, alcohol consumption, smoking, and use of other drugs and substances are some of the key health risk factors that contribute to the greater burden of ill health experienced by Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples when compared with non-Indigenous Australians. Health risk factors impact on the onset, maintenance and prognosis of a variety of chronic diseases. Understanding risk factors facilitates early intervention and management strategies to prevent or ameliorate disease and to achieve health gains for individuals and populations. Non-communicable diseases are to a great extent preventable through interventions against the major risk factors and their environmental, economic, social and behavioral determinants in the population. The health risk factors presented in this section focus on behavioral risk factors including smoking, alcohol and other drug use and nutrition, all of which impact on the health and quality of life of Indigenous Australians. These risk factors are responsible for a large proportion of the total burden of disease in Australia and are an important component of the greater burden of ill health experienced by Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples when compared with non-Indigenous Australians. The hazardous use of alcohol is related to conditions such as alcohol dependence syndrome, alcoholic liver disease, high blood pressure, stroke, and some cancers. Alcohol is frequently a contributing factor to injuries from traffic accidents, assault, and self-harm, and may contribute to social problems such as family breakdown, domestic violence, and financial and legal problems. While the effects of excess alcohol consumption on individuals, families, and communities can be clearly identified, the effects of smoking, a major cause of preventable ill health and death, may take many years to appear. As a single risk factor, smoking causes the greatest burden of disease, approximately 10% for the total Australian population. Cigarette smoking is associated with the increased incidence of and mortality from various types of cancer, including lung, cervical, bladder, and pancreatic cancers, coronary heart disease, stroke, chronic respiratory tract diseases, and pregnancy-related conditions. The effects of passive smoking are also associated with higher rates of lung cancer and heart disease in adults, asthma and lower respiratory tract illness such as bronchitis and pneumonia in children, and higher rates of sudden infant death syndrome. Indigenous Australians are also at risk of ill health through the use of substances such as marijuana, heroin, amphetamines, and inhalants. Example, petrol, glue, aerosols. The 2001 National Drug Strategy and Household Survey (NDSHS) indicate that illicit drug use among Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples was higher than that for non-Indigenous Australians. Over half, 57% of Indigenous respondents aged 14 years and over indicated that they had tried an illicit drug compared to 37% of non-Indigenous respondents. The importance of the roles played by diet and nutrition in health is universally acknowledged. Less well understood are the complex interrelationships between nutrition and health risk factors. For example, diet-related diseases may be associated with environmental, behavioral, biological, and genetic factors, making it difficult to determine the extent to which diet contributes to disease. The Health Consumers Council (HCC) is an independent, not-for-profit community-based organization representing the consumer's voice in health policy, planning, research, and service delivery. We advocate on behalf of consumers to doctors, other health professionals, hospitals, and the wider health system. The HCA is a partnership of consumer assistance programs operated by community-based legal services organizations. Our common mission is to help Californians obtain essential health care. Since opening its doors in October 1998, HCA has helped more than 128,000 consumers with health access problems. The HCA receives its core funding from the California Endowment. The initial endowment grant included an independent evaluation of HCA's work by the USC Division of Community Health. The evaluator's final report was released February 19, 2003. An independent evaluation in 2011 demonstrates that in tough economic and political climates, collaborative like HCA play an important role in raising awareness, offering alternatives, and creating an environment of hope for its clients. Medical eligibility and service issues predominate in our work on behalf of individual clients. Our clients' ethnicity is as follows: Latino 52%, Anglo 27%, Asian American Pacific Islander 10%, African American 7%, American Indian or other 4%. Our two main priorities are A. Helping consumers establish or maintain health coverage, and B. ensuring that low-income consumers with health coverage get good access to essential services, including through managed care plans. We are committed to resolving problems in the most efficient manner possible without wasting resources in unnecessary formal proceedings. Our closed cases were resolved as follows. Counsel and advice to consumer 50.2%. Negotiation without formal proceedings 8.6%. Other brief service 25.7%. Administrative appeals decision 2.1%. Negotiated settlement of litigation, primarily collection actions against indigent consumers 1.9%. The top priority is to help solve the individual consumer's problem, but also view the stream of low-income consumers coming to doors as an important opportunity to diagnose systemic health access issues. The diagnosis is aided by a database system that collects uniform, comprehensive information about the problems consumers bring to us and the results we achieve. Put simply, we are in a position to provide not just compelling anecdotes, but also the objective data needed to discern the extent to which problems are truly systemic. The inequalities are arrayed against two axes. One reflects household background, such as caste, religion, education, and income, and the other reflects the characteristics of the area the respondents live in, as characterized by urban or rural residence, level of infrastructure development, and state of residence. While both sets of inequalities are reflected in most indicators of human developments, their relative importance varies. As this chapter discusses a variety of health outcomes and health care, it is striking how regional inequalities dwarf inequalities in the household background. A poor, illiterate laborer is less likely to suffer from short and long-term illnesses and has greater access to medical care than a college graduate, forward caste, or large landowner in rural areas. Social inequalities matter, but their importance is overwhelmed by state and rural-urban differences. Another theme to emerge from the IHDS data is the dominant position of the private sector in medical care. Being blind, deaf, or unable to walk imposes enormous burdens on some individuals. How widespread are these disabilities? The survey asked if any household member, 8 years old or older, had to cope with any of 7 problems. For example, walking 1 kilometer that created difficulty for daily activity. Maternal mortality rates have been declining, but complications before and after birth are common. The IHDS asked about whether recent mothers had experienced any of the 8 medical problems during or shortly after their pregnancies. A healthy family is a happy family. But what exactly is family health? It is more than just eating right and exercising, though these are crucial factors. It also encompasses physical, emotional, and financial issues. Family health extends beyond kids to spouse, parents, and grandparents, and even family pet. Here one will get the information needed to safeguard loved ones and keep family units strong. Keeping family healthy is a full-time job. Yet, just as planned for a family, one can also plan for family's health. Do we know our family's health history? Is our health insurance policy up to date? Do we have a strategy in place in case of an unexpected emergency? Taking the time to organize these details will enable us to monitor hereditary conditions, handle unforeseen events, and prevent unwanted medical errors. Start today by putting together a health journal and remember to keep it up to date. Exercise is an important part of our family's health. Many families are busy with work, school, and other groups. As a result, it can be difficult to fit in exercise as well. By taking the time to exercise together, our family health will improve substantially. We might want to make it a rule that when everyone comes home from school or work, that they do some sort of exercise, if only for half an hour. Kids who are resistant might be more open to exercise if it is done with a video game system, for example. Make the exercise fun for everyone, and we will find that our family health goals are easier to reach. Overall, researchers found that 63% of children did not consume the World Health Organization recommended amount of 5 portions 400 grams a day. Children who always ate a family meal together at a table consumed 125 grams, 1.5 portions more fruit and vegetables on average than children who never ate with their families. Even those who reported eating together only once or twice a week consumed 95 grams, 1.2 portions more than those who never ate together. Even if it is just one family meal a week, when children eat together with parents or older siblings, they learn about eating. Watching the way their parents or siblings eat and the different types of food they eat is pivotal in creating their own food habits and preferences. Now, in the end, let us summarize what we have learned in this lecture. World Health Organization's WHO's definition of health, the most famous modern definition of health, was created during a preamble to the Constitution of the WHO as adopted by the International Health Conference. Health is the level of functional or metabolic efficiency of a living being. Good health can be described as the condition where both our body as well as our mind is functioning properly. Health risk factors impact on the onset, maintenance, and prognosis of a variety of chronic diseases. The Health Consumers Council, HCC, is an independent, not-for-profit community-based organization representing the consumer's voice in health policy, planning, research, and service delivery. The inequalities are arrayed against two axes. One reflects household background, such as caste, religion, education, and income, and the other reflects the characteristics of the area the respondents live in, as characterized by urban or rural residents, level of infrastructure development, and state of residence. Keeping family healthy is a full-time job.